Hi everybody, and welcome to our second kind of workshop tutorial. We're going to be looking or concentrating on modeling or modelers that use the system in conjunction with the inpx file, which is normally used upon the PTV Vissim. What we're going to do is we're going to do a practical walkthrough of the platform, and I'll be your presenter. So my name's Chris. I'm the BDM here in GoodVision. I'm also joined today with Daniel Stofan. He's our CEO. And he's going to be on the kind of questions that keep popping up through the meeting, and he'll be able to ask or answer these questions as we go through the workshop. So if you have any questions when we're doing or when I'm going through the presentation and the actual platform, you can send your questions to us, and they'll be answered during the presentation. And at the end of that, we'll also have answer any questions that need to kind of be addressed that wasn't on the actual workshop. So what we're going to do is just give everyone a little brief intro into GoodVision. And then, as I said, it's going to be a type of a practical workshop. So I'm going to be physically drawing and or making the analysis from speeds, from generating the inpx file, also looking at the gap times, things like this that you will be using in a modeling kind of scenario, and also looking at the playback functionality on the system, which is very, very interesting, and we can look at that as we go further on. So let's just kickstart this with the introduction to GoodVision. So GoodVision, as some of you that are aware, and to the new people joining, or if this is your first time, we're a global SaaS platform that enables the collaboration between data collection companies and modeling companies to collaborate with using video footage and from all sources of hardware, whether that's CCTV, drones, any kind of static camera, and uploading it to the GoodVision platform, where it is extracted all at once, all data. So everything that you can think of that's on that image, whether it's the speeds, classes, everything is extracted at once, uploaded to the platform and processed in 1 hour. So you can have multiple hours of footage, and it will all be processed for you once uploaded within 1 hour. As you can see, we cover a wide variety or a wide area of countries all over the world. We're also working with a variety of companies, as you can see here, IDOM, we've got Jacobs, Rumble, and we have WSP. So these are the companies that we've worked with and provided projects for. And this is our kind of area that we're dealing, or clients that we deal with. This is just to show you briefly on the kind of process or the cycle of the platform. So the connecting of the video, collecting all the video footage that you have, and then being uploaded into the system. And then the system, using the artificial intelligence, is extracting all that data and presenting that in the tool so you can do your analysis and modeling activities. And then also giving you the simulation file, but also with visual analytics. So this is all stuff like the playback that we're going to look at, and the gap times and things like this that you're going to see. This is the data that you're either looking for verification purposes for your models, and the actual model that we will produce is a skeleton or a kind of a pre-calibrated model with the real data. And then when you go into your simulation, you can change and manipulate that data to fit within your requirements and use that for your simulation models. So this, again, is just giving you a broad aspect of all areas that we kind of cover within the platform itself. We're looking at visualizing the data, behavioral analytics, also that's very important for modelers with the behavioral of lane swapping and changing, of understanding what's going on the scene as like an investigation tool, and GoodVision provides that, allowing you to granularly go through the information that's all the visual data and peel it back layer by layer to understand at what time, where, at what points that you've got these kind of objects clashing or moving between lanes and so on. We also have the ability not only to look at the behavioral patterns of vehicles, but also the behavioral patterns of pedestrians and cyclists that are interacting with other objects. You're able to see the pedestrians' patterns going across intersections, looking at maybe a new way of designing a walkway or some kind of intersection that needs improving because there's a high rate of accidents with pedestrians, and seeing why that is. And that GoodVision gives you that in-depth ability to see. And also we integrate with PTV Vissim. This is a focus at the minute. It creates an inpx file. Of course, that can be uploaded into other platforms. But this is something that we use for the PTV Vissim, or focusing on this because this is the majority of the users that use this system. We also have the license plate recognition, so there's ANPR. That's something for the kind of OD surveys and a bigger kind of broader connection of cameras. So if you've got multiple cameras over locations, you're able to pick up the movement of vehicles from one camera to another camera using the license plate recognition. So these are just the areas that we have and the points that we've got here. And the main thing is it's saving you time. It's saving you costs in your resources because it's reduced in the turnaround time. It's also removing manual work, but not only removing the manual work, it's removing the time that it takes to organize the manual work and teams that have to actually put together to do all this type of manual counting and analysis. And then also increasing your productivity. If we can deliver to you your models, your inpx file, your simulation model, or your gap times within minutes, it's cutting down a lot of time and giving you that back to actually concentrate on other projects or important aspects of that project. So what we've got a couple of examples that we're going to jump into. And this is an intersection that we have, a four-armed intersection here in the Czech Republic near our offices, the R&D offices. We have the 4-arm 16 movements, and what we've done is we kind of we're going to make some movements on this video, this drone footage that we've got, and look at the traffic volumes and look at the speeds and the parameters that we can get from the vehicle list, and then also upload that into the PTV Vissim software and show you then the data that you will see. So we're just going to go through that whole process. And this will be the video footage. So then you've got the very important feature, which is the playback. So you can also visually look at the playback of the footage and see what's going on in certain scenarios. We've got a different type of footage for that to show you. And you could be able to, I'll give you the concept and the idea around that, of how that works. And yeah, so we're basically going to be showing you how we did it. So how did we generate this traffic model so quickly? Sounds very simple and very easy, which it is. It's only based on the kind of clicks of the mouse and putting in some distances, and you'll get your model generated. So we're going to jump into the actual system. So I'm just going to share my screen, if you just bear with me. Okay. So hopefully everyone can see my my screen here with the footage or the drone software that you can see here. And what we're going to do is we're going to look firstly at actually creating the PTV Vissim model. So we're going to look at creating this or preparing it to get this data for you and showing you how, as a modeler, you can create this this file, but also the saturation flow on the saturation report, and then look at the vehicle list on giving you the speeds and the gap times. So let's start with this. So as you all know, and if you've been on the first workshop, you would have had your footage uploaded, and here it is presented to us for to analyze the data. And what we're going to do here, we're going to draw or prep the scene so we can actually calculate and create our model, our skeleton, our model. So what we're going to do is just going to draw and prep our lines here on the analysis or the described scene. If you've got any questions during this period, please do ask. We're more than happy to discuss that with you. And as I said, it's kind of open workshop, so you can either follow along as well if you have your access to GoodVision. We can do the same, and then if you get stuck on some of the movements, we can analyze it together here. Okay. So I've marked up the intersection with the lines, and now we're going to create our movements in the system. So once you've kind of just pre-prepped it, what we're going to do is just draw some of the movements. So I'm going to draw from here west to east, and make sure I cross these lines going over. And once we've done that, then going to get the distance between. So the easiest thing to do this, or to get your distances, you either have that pre-noted on when you're actually taking the data. If you don't have that, information or to hand, what you can do is actually use Google Maps, and I'll just show you simply what you can do from that. So what you would do is from Google Maps, you can actually take the measurements from the point or the advantage point and use the measurements of the Google Maps and take a point of reference. So for example, if I'm just taking from these lines here on the screen that you can see, I'll take from the edges of the road, and also I'll move my other line and just make a few adjustments just to get some kind of orientation. So I'm going to take from this line to this point, and then also from this line to here, and we're going to put in the measurements which we've took from Google Maps, and we're saying it's about 34 meters from that point. Click save. Same from the other direction, from south to north. I'm just going to line it up with some markings that I can see, and some pole that's in front of the junction here. Also going to line it up with the edge of the crossing, and so I'm making measurements on Google Maps from the crossing to one of the road markings here. And I just make that movement by clicking new. I drag it down from north to south, click save, and then I will add that movement here. So I can see that we've got 35. and I click save. So I'm adding just in the movements, and as you see, every time I'm putting in the movements, you're seeing the movement of traffic. This is in Czech, so if you're joining from UK, it is on the opposite side of the road. And you can see that every time that we're creating the movement here, it's created in the movements kind of tab. And then once we've done that, every time that's been created, we're going to see the visual analytics of the vehicles that are going through. So this is the first point that you'll see in the visualization of the volumes. We see 55 in total, 95, and it gives you a breakdown of the vehicles also on the visual analytics. Then what we're going to do now, once we've made these movements and we've added in the speed, what we can do is also generate. If you don't want to do one by one, you have our little magic wand here, which is to create the movements all in one go. So I can select all movements, and then I can create generate. And what that will do is it just creates all the movements instantly for me. And I don't have to go one by one, so you don't have to sit there doing all these movements through the system. It's just done automatically. And once that's done, you can click on these movements and see what's going on each of them. And then the only thing that you need to do is add in there the actual distances from these movements. So first of all, I'm going to do the we did the south to north, sorry, got north to south, and I'm going to do the south north. I'm just going to add in that distance here. Again, that was 35. And also again, it east west, and I'm going to put that in at 34. There we go. So just for example's sake, so I've just put in the movements going from south, north, west, east, west, and so on to give us this, to create our kind of a model. And what we're going to do also is from the data, we're going to look at some of the saturation flows and things that we'll create as well from the data. But first, let's just look at creating the model here for the PTV kind of model. So once I've made these movements, look at creating that the model itself. So I'm going to click on the generate model. And from this point of view, you can create the or you can select the classifications that you want included within your model. So we're just going to leave it with the classifications we have here. You're going to then select the movements that we want. So we had north, south. We had we have south, north. And we have east, west, and we have, where is it? So where's west, east, there we go. And then what we're going to include is just yes, because on the others, we've got the speeds on these ones, but we can select all as well if you want, or deselect, but say select all. You can select yes, so we want the calibration of the speed, and because I've added in the distance, that's going to help with the calculation of the speed that's going to be included and the movements we made. So that was from the north, south, and the west, east, and so on. And then we select the kind of interval. So I want to look at, sorry, not the interval, the peak period. So I'm going to select peak period, or you can select or customize a period that you want to look at the data. So say you have a large amount of data over X amount of months, you can zero in on certain types, or you can just click peak hour, and from that whole data set, it's going to give you the peak hour of data. Then what we're going to do is select 15 minutes is the unit time. You can select the date or the time range that you want. You can go to 24 hour, but usually standard is 15 minutes. And then what we're going to do is add in the longitude and latitude of the here. So just bear with me and I'll type that in. And I'm putting the longitude, the latitude and longitude so that when I generate the map or the inpx file, it's just going to basically upload that image, or the background of the image is going to match my generated model, or the skeleton model that I have. And then all I'm going to do is click generate. Now that's going to generate the model, and you'll be able to see that in the traffic exports here. It's a new feature that's now in our the version 21, and you can see the reports, and you can see the models you're creating. You can open them here, and you can download them from the system. So this is really good to check, and you can email them to different people in your organization, or a client if they need the model. That can be done from this screen here, which is the traffic exports. And if we go back to the scene now, so why that's calculating and why that's generating the model, there's a couple of other things that we're going to cover or look at, and that's generating the reports, or a couple of the reports. We also want to create the vehicle list report, and that vehicle list report is going to give us the classifications, gap times, entry points and exit points, and also the speeds. So again, I will click on the get traffic report, and what I'm going to generate is the vehicle list first. Again, this is a new feature on the version 21, that you can select or deselect the classes in your report. If you don't want certain classes in, you can remove them from the report. And also then here we've got, again, you can select just one certain movement, or you can select all of them. And we're going to do get reports. So now you don't have the function of the email here, because it's just in another area, which is in your exports, traffic exports area. So again, now we see there's the vehicle list. We see that the modeling generation is done. I can download it, and I can also email that to someone else if they need to have that file. We can see that the vehicle list is working and is now generated, and that's available for me to download or open it here. Download it so that I can open it. And then also we want to create another metric, and that's going to be the saturation flow report. So as you are all aware, that when you're creating the saturation flow report, it's quite a tedious process that you have to follow. To actually generate the saturation report, all we're going to do is place an extra line here, going over, as we can see, the lines of the traffic here, directly over one of the lanes here. As the vehicle is moving or going into the junction. I'm going to call that sat flow. Okay. And also just going to put a movement on that. Ooh. Save. Okay, so I've created a movement on that sat flow, and what we'll do is it's going over the lane here. So I want to understand what's the flow of this lane, and what we'll do is we'll create the report here. So I go to click again traffic report, and we'll use, and what I'll do here is just click saturation. And again, we've got the classes that are in the saturation flow. You can select our, here we go, sat flow And here we've got the end of the saturation flow and the min duration of the minimum duration of the interval. So these are set by the TfL guidelines, or following the guidelines of UK kind of standard. These, again, you can change these depending on your country specifics or requirements. So they're just default set at this measurement. And what we'll do is just, again, generate the report. So that's going to generate the report for us and be processed in the system. So what we're going to do now, we're going to just open some of the reports and go back to the PTV Vissim kind of model creation now. So what we're going to do is we've had that actually generated, and I'm going to show you how that's going to look, or what's the process. So if you just bear with me. Okay. So I've just, that's the PTV file, or the inpx file that I've just created. And what it's going to do is I just click on it, and within PTV Vissim itself, it's going to upload that file. And let me just open it for you. There you go. So as you can see here, it's placed the middle of the intersection in the correct area, or in the area. And the only things that you have to do is do a bit of the tidying up. This is just a skeleton model. So now you have the model here. And what you're going to do is you're going to be moving the arms of the PTV model in line with what you can see on your map. And then also you'd be increasing the lanes as well. So if it's 2 or 3 lanes, you'd have to make that change. And also we've just put together the splices so they're together. But the most important thing from all this is that all the data that we've just been creating is actually carried over. So now we can actually look and see in the PTV Vissim model the actual movements of what we've created. We can see the volumes is carried over from each of the links that we've done, so the movements. The speeds are carried over for each vehicle, or each class, which is on the, as we can see here. If we go down, we can see the GoodVision speed. So that's east to OGV1 and car van. It actually gives you the speed of each of the classifications. And that's all pre-done for you. You don't have to be looking at, adding this information and getting it from another source. It's already there, so you can then start modeling and looking at that intersection and running your simulations on the system. And it's a very powerful tool to kind of use and get you using the PTV Vissim model very quick and very fast. So these are not exactly my best skills because I'm not adept to the PTV Vissim model, but as you can see, and you get the understanding of how that works. And the most important thing is the data is pulled over from GoodVision, and it's ready there for you to start kind of manipulating and changing and using real-time data, so you can do your modeling. So the other thing that we want to look at is the vehicle list report that we created. So on the vehicle list report, just open it here, we just downloaded. On the intrusion report, it's called, this gives you the movements of each of the movements east to west, north to south. And it gives you a breakdown of the vehicles per class. It's giving you the, here we go, just going with the speeds. So it's giving you here the gap time. So we've got the movement here, which is from east to west, which we did. You've got the classifications, which is running down the side here. You've got your gap time of the first vehicle, obviously enters at 0, and the next vehicle, or this vehicle that follows, that's the gap time between the vehicle that's passed. So it's the gap time between that vehicle and the one in front of it. Then also you've got the travel time. So that's the travel time from the east to west line. So the lines that we've got on the described scene, they've gone from the east to west. That is the travel time that it's taken, this car, the vehicle. And then it's also got the speed. So as we put in the distance here in meters, it's giving you the speed of the vehicle as you look, so you can understand what's going on that intersection. This is for every single movement, so where you've actually put the meter. So if you don't put any measurement in, you won't get the speeds. You have to add the measurement for each movement. And once that's in, you will have the speeds. Otherwise, the data that you can collect will just be on the vehicle class, the gap time, and also the travel time. That's it. So what I will now also do is show you the saturation, or we'll do a saturation flow on one of the here. I think the best one that I can also use, which was on our geospatial. Let's have a look. We did a geospatial. I don't know if any of you joined that webinar, but we actually did a webinar here for SAP flows, and I'm going to use this one because it's closer to give me some data that I can actually show you and we can talk through. So here we have our SAP flow. Again, it's just one line that I've created over the line of traffic going into the junction. This movement always deletes the first two cars going over, and then it's looking at the free flow kind of patterns and the conditions on the SAP flow generated report. So again, what I'm going to do is just produce the saturation flow report for that movement, and I'll say, yep, get report. I'll go to traffic. Export, can see that running, and that should only take a couple of minutes or so, and then it will show me the actual SAP flow the details. And as you know, doing the SAP flows is very tedious. You have to go into your video, and you have to actually sit there and do some manual counting to calculate your SAP flows. And you know, that can be quite difficult to do, and to actually takes quite a long time. As you can see, I've just drawn one line, and now I have the report. So if I just download that to my desktop, and I'm just going to click on the report. Here now you're going to see the saturation flow for the movement that I've made over the time period. So here we've got the summary. So this gives me the 10 best data points or flow on the summary here. So on the first SAP flow summary, it's through the whole actual report. So it's doing the actual flow thing. Every single movement that's happened on that movement that I've made, it's giving me the 10 best results from here. And as you can see, you've got your average, min, max time gap. You've got the classification of the vehicle, and then you've got also the total PCU calculated here, and the saturation flow per reading. And then you've got the actual flow, which is the PCU hourly rate calculated here on the corner. And also you can go deeper and actually look at the full flow. So if you need to look at the whole report from the free flow readings, which go all the way down to 40, we've got 43 free flow rates. And you can look at them all individually to see what the flow rate is. But the system automatically gives you the 10 best or most saturated readings from the report that we've just done, or what we've just created. So that's basically really, it's simple to generate your saturation flow. You've just seen me do the all this saturation flow. You've seen me make movements. You've seen me do the PTV generation, all within what, say, half an hour. I guess it's even shorter than that because I'm talking about it, and you probably make more movements and do maybe a few more things, but you can generate your, a base model within minutes from the system, from using GoodVision. And what I'm going to do is now I'm going to hand it over to Daniel, and we're going to talk about suppliers. About how you can actually look at adding or getting your suppliers. So if you're doing the modeling in actually involving your suppliers in the process. So Dan.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. Hello, everyone. I was quite busy with answering the chat and providing you with some more detailed information. We are often asked about from traffic modelers, like, okay, this is a very interesting functionality, but what should we do if we want to use that? Most of you are using your proven data suppliers who are performing traffic surveys. They're going out to the field, install the cameras, record the footage. Or fly drones to record the footage and then somehow perform the traffic counting or traffic data collection from the footage. As GoodVision, the answer here is that your process of working or the supply chain actually stays the same. GoodVision is a technology provider and doesn't act like a middleman between you and your supplier or between you and your client. So therefore, what we're doing is it's an evolution of the process. The process is staying the same, just the tools are becoming more intelligent. So long story short, it is the replacement of the conventional manual methods when collecting traffic data from video for systems like GoodVision Video Insight. So in case you want to perform the advanced analysis over the data in GoodVision, you obviously need the data to be collected in that format, which allows that. So the question, how to commission the surveys, is exactly the same as you were commissioning before. Just instead of requesting the Excel report with traffic volumes, you're requesting to have this data processed by GoodVision and to be delivered to you on the GoodVision platform. What Chris was not showing today, but I guess it was on our previous one of our previous webinars. There are some powerful collaboration features where the traffic surveyor, as a traffic data supplier, he's using the GoodVision platform for processing of the data. So he's uploading, doing the data hygiene, maybe performing some basic analysis and getting the counts. And when he's done and when he's ready to deliver you the project results, he's simply sharing the cameras or the projects to his client, who's obviously some civil engineering company or a traffic modeler. Once this is shared, the traffic modeler is taking over the cameras, the data, and video files, of course, which are stored in the GoodVision Vault. And it can continue further with the advanced analysis while the data is already prepared. So yeah, long story short, the supply chain remains the same. And yeah, this even brings you more closer to your supplier, and you can work connected.
Yeah, and also just that's another thing that I should show you is the actual playback feature, something that I missed. Apologies about that. I can just quickly show you here. that we're talking about the kind of playback situation of footage. So just going to open here, which one I have. We can take this one. So when your footage is actually on the is uploaded into the system, you can do a playback. So if you when it's uploaded to the cloud, so when you have your footage that's in the GoodVision Vault, you're able to unlock the other feature, which is playback. So for instance, I can kind of really granularly see on my data and identify, for instance, if I want to look at motorbikes on this piece of data, I can see that, click on the motorbike classification, and I can see at what points the motorcycles were kind of detected. And when I do that, I can move my little bar across here to select the points, and then I can click play. And when I click play here, we should see coming into the scene a motorbike, which was detected during, and there we go, there's the motorbike. So it's actually helping you to pinpoint at various points in your footage and data where there was something happening, and you can select that and play back and understand all categories if you wish, but you can see during the timeline where motorcycles are kind of being detected, and it's giving you again that visual aid. And this playback function is very, very critical, I guess, within your modeling when you want to play back and understand if there's something going on the situation, whether it's illegal movements or some type of movement going on the intersection at a certain time. You're able to view that data here in the platform without going out and playing you footage and so on. So apologize about that. I missed that part. So I know that time's getting on now, so let's look if there is any questions, but I think Dan has done a great job of answering all the questions during the presentation.
I'm trying to do my best.
So if there isn't any more kind of questions that are about or required, again, you have our contact details, or we'll put them out to everyone that's joined with a follow-up email and this recording. You can get in contact with us. You can register on the system. It is free. There's no credit card details needed. You can speak to our team that will give you some credits so you can upload your own footage. And please take advantage or get a trial from us now these days. Get a trial that you can use the system fully and play with it yourself and see the results that you can get from using GoodVision and save time on your modeling areas. So I hope this has been very informative for everyone, and I'd like to wish everybody a nice day, and we'll speak to you again on another workshop coming soon. Bye.
Thank you for your attention. Bye.